What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the RUBIO Sports Showdown show. We're talking Packers. We are talking Lions. Excited to be here. Excited to watch this game because, hey, we've had some rough showdown games in general, but we got a good one tonight. Should be fun. Packers win, and they get in. Unfortunately, as Kurt will probably be upset about, the Lions, they do not have a chance now, it seems like, which I'm happy about because that maybe makes it easier on the Packers. Hopefully, we'll see if the Lions try to play spoiler tonight. Curious to see how your guys' builds go. If you'd like, please hit that like, subscribe to the channel. Helps us out a ton over here at RUBIO Sports. Let's go to the birthday boy himself. Yesterday was his birthday. So, Kurt, how was the night? How was the golf this week? NFL? How's it going on?
Golf, my stance was kind of be low on Rom and then be like, I completely wanted to fade Chalk Hoagie. So today was not great run out, but Showdown every single day has been triple or double my money. So I got to take that. NFL, hey, I know I bitched about it the last couple of weeks, but man, this weekend has been fire for me. So got it back in NFL too. I'm ready to go. Ready to go out strong tonight. Like I said, I would have liked to have watched this been a game where Lions win, they're in. But either way, we know the Lions are going to play hard. So if it makes MANGONE happy for the Packers, then I'm happy for him.
I would like them to get in because Rodgers, I don't know how long he has left, right? I just want to watch I want to watch him the playoffs one last time. This is the chance where he can make a run. I've always said, it's nice. You have Aaron Rodgers and you're in the playoffs. You always have a chance. But I know he's been a little bit different this year.
Do you have the 130-1 ticket on the Packers?
No, I didn't jump in. I probably should have. That's a nice one to be sitting on. I probably should have jumped in on it. I remember hearing people talk about it, and I was like, that's not a bad one to jump in on. But I don't know. I just figured I'd be happy if they just get there anyways. And I don't know. It's again Rodgers has not been to the Super Bowl since 2010, and I thought he'd be back by now, and he hasn't. So it's been pretty frustrating. But hopefully they can maybe get the job done. It's going to be tough. Let's go over to you, Meg. You got the Washington gear on. How did Sam Howell look to you? Are you thinking it's a quarterback of the future, or what's your kind of thoughts on this NFL DFS Sunday and your Commanders?
Yeah, I didn't get to see the entire game. I was getting ready for the show, but from what I saw of Sam Howell, I liked it. So I was celebrating the end of the Washington season. Hopefully this is the last Washington game that I'm watching with Dan Snyder as the owner. That would be the biggest celebration of all for Washington fans. Hey, maybe Sam Howell season's starting. I'm okay with that. So far, so good. I liked it so far. So, and I'm ready to just, break down this game. Again, a little bummed it's not winning, kind of winning in or both sides. But again, I think Lions are going to play hard and I'm, looking forward to this game either way.
Yep, looking forward to this game too. Should be a fun one. Rubio, we'll go over to you, the man who does the Showdown Playbook over here at RUBIO Sports. We'll obviously have Showdown Playbooks for, NBA. Obviously, will start, really kicking even stronger soon. We got the playoff ones that will be awesome. So, Rubio, tell people a little about the Showdown Playbook and give us, some of your takeaways of this NFL Sunday.
Yeah, the Showdown Playbook is up. It's got all my plays and fades, and it's a good one tonight. So I'm looking forward to it. We got a whole bunch of cores on the sheet as well. And if you haven't, please subscribe. And if you haven't liked the video yet, please do that because it's week 18. It might be the final show of the season, and that also means that we're going to give away Big T's core at around 8:15 if we get a certain amount of likes. I'm making the call. We're giving away his core, but I need to see likes up there. And we got how many people watching right now? What is it? What's the number? 313 right now? I got to see at least 300 likes up there. You know what? I'll set the bar low. I do think people will join in as the show goes on. 225. That's the number for Big T's core. 8:15 tonight. Well, what do we know? The NFL is a mastermind at rigging the playoffs the way they want it, and the Packers get a nice gift tonight. Wow, of course they want to see Aaron Rodgers in. The Seahawks winning, they needed 2 field goals to do it, but God, I feel bad for the Lions tonight. I even feel bad for the Seahawks. They don't get the full effort from the Lions tonight. They know that it's not do or die because they're already dead. These Lions have been slayed, and I'm just not looking forward to the game. At the same time, it's a good showdown show. It's a good showdown slate. Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, against this weak Lions defense. I think it's going to be a moneymaker, but I refuse to watch it. It's just the NFL is an absolute terrible fiend, and this week 18 scheduling has been absolutely awful. They fucked over the Bengals. They fucked over the Seahawks. I can't.
All right, we can settle down there, Rubio, okay? Settle down. All right. Come on back, Rubio, okay? You good? Come on. We want to watch the Packers win in prime time. We want to see them make the playoffs and then make a run, right, Rubio?
I hope they lose the first game. The 49ers going to send them home like usual, man.
I mean, yeah, that is the worry, right? The Niners are definitely very good, but you never know. You never know what happens in the playoffs, but should be fun. We'll talk about this one. We'll talk about the captains up top. So, guys, again, please hit that like, subscribe to the channel. Helps out a ton. We're trying to give away Big T's score tonight, so I can't wait to hear what it is. Should be fun to break it all down. Let's go over to you, Kurt. Who do you got up top? I've ran some stuff already, and when I kind of looked at it, I figured I'm probably playing a Packer up top in the captain. It just kind of makes the most sense. That's probably the chalkier route on this slate. So if you play a Lion in the captain, then I'll definitely start to be a different setup than most people. I'm seeing at the top, I'm seeing Aaron Rodgers, Allen Lazard, Aaron Jones. 3 guys that I kind of expected to see up there. Who are some of the guys that you're looking to play up top?
Yeah, so I agree. I wanted to kind of flirt with, I was hoping the Rams would somehow pull off the miracle where I could kind of flirt with DeAndre Swift, captain, go all in or go out. I mean, go all out, give them all the snaps. Green Bay sucks to stop in the run. Good time to get Swift captain, but now it's I'm kind of off of that now. I'm kind of with you. I'm high on Aaron Jones here. I know he fooled us with this off the injury designation last time, 2 weeks ago. But, I mean, what's the situation? They have to win, right? Because I know that
they have to win.
Yeah, they lose. Seahawks
get in. If they lose, they don't get in, and then it's Seattle. I believe is in. I think it's.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So Aaron Jones captain for me is probably not going to be my main build. Probably will be a little chalky. Can't lie, but it's primetime Aaron Jones, man. He looked good last week. Looks off that those lower body injuries. Looks healthier after that. Christian Watson, stuff like that. I'm not going to get too crazy up top, but my one super, super cheap captain, just cheap dart, Jameson Williams. The snaps came up a little bit last week. Since they don't have nothing to play for, maybe he gets up to 40, 50 snaps. Big-time playmaker at Alabama. So that's my cheap dart throw captain, but I really think you should stay up top with some of these Packers.
Yeah, I will say I benefited a lot last year from the Jameson Williams injury. So who knows? Maybe I can benefit from him doing well in this game here tonight on the eve of the showdown that we got coming up for college football. So because I faded him and then I got lucky, obviously, but that's what you got to do sometimes in showdown. You got to fade some stuff and hope to get right. So maybe he can repay me in this way. So maybe I'll play him here tonight. I think he could be a really interesting option. You go to Josh Reynolds, DJ Chark. There's a lot of different Lions options that we can consider here. Let's go over to you, Meg. Who are your captains up top? Are they Packers? Are they Lions? Maybe it's a St. Brown. Maybe it's Jameson Williams to just jam everyone in. What's your thoughts here on this?
Yeah, I don't mind, even with them not having, the motivation for playoffs. I don't mind actually doing, just to be different, doing a Lions player in the captain, especially one of the receivers playing in a potentially negative game script. So I really don't mind that. We've seen plenty of winners all year long. I know recently where you see, whether it's a 4-2, and we can get into that later, but where it's, the losing team is in the captain. And, even if we think Packers, win and they're in, I still think you can play a Lions player in the captain. And I like it to be maybe one of those 2 receivers as my favorite so far. Of course, I have interest in, Aaron Jones and Lazard and some of those Packers receivers too. But again, to be different, I really don't mind Amon-Ra or maybe the Jameson Williams. I'm kind of coming around on that too.
Ooh. Yep, I do think see people talking about Christian Watson in the chat. I think that's going to be Big T's captain tonight. How's that sound? I think his captain is Christian Watson. I'm going to call it out right now. We'll see what ends up happening there. Nat, Rubio, let's go over to you. What captains are you looking at? Obviously, I'm probably going to use some Packer heavy takes. Do you have any Lions ones that are interesting? And which Packers are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over the Packers tonight, too. I think Aaron Jones is going to be a guy who kind of goes a little bit under the radar. And the reason being is because A.J. Dillon's getting 10 to 12 carries a game lately. And people are starting to play A.J. Dillon a lot more. And it's kind of their ownership was almost equal last time. And Jones kind of takes the cake here, being one of the top price guys. And I think they start to utilize him a bit more here, knowing that they have to win, knowing how effective he is in the pass game, too. Because this Lions defense is not great, but they're significantly worse against the pass than they are against the run. I think Jones can take advantage of that in the passing game. I think the Packers will drop back a little bit more than usual here, and I think Aaron Jones could be a guy who gets 5-6 catches tonight. And we know how much he loves primetime games. We know how much he loves scoring on primetime games. So he's my guy. I really do like the Christian Watson call, though. I just think we saw it in that Miami game on Christmas Day. It looked like Christian Watson was getting ready to put up like a 10 catches, 100-yard game. And he unfortunately got hurt. And last game, they went deep to him a couple times. He almost had 2 touchdowns on just deep balls alone. I know that's his forte. He's got a ton of speed. But Aaron Rodgers looking for him a lot in the short passing routes, whether it's just a slant or whether it's a screen or something. They want to get him the ball. And more importantly, it feels like they force the ball to him in the red zone. It feels like if one wide receiver is going to score a touchdown, it's going to be Christian Watson. It feels like they force it to him, and that's great for DFS. You know exactly what you're getting, and he's one of my favorite guys tonight for sure too. And those are my two favorite skill players. I do think you can captain a quarterback. Jared Goff is in the mix too. I usually don't love captaining a quarterback with good wide receivers and stuff, but both these guys can spread it out. And we just saw how many different tight ends for the Lions just score. And then we have these cheap options like the Jalen Reynolds, the Khalif Raymond, the Jameson Williams. You have so many cheap options to pair him with that wide receiver might not outscore Jared Goff, or even Aaron Rodgers' case. It might not be Christian Watson. He could spread it out to Mercedes Lewis, Lazard, and Cobb. He can do that. So I don't mind the quarterbacks and the captain, but the two of my favorites are Watson and Jones for sure.
Yep, definitely think those are good takes there on that. We got to go to Brian, though. I mean, look what he said. Look at that dude's spray tan. I mean, Kurt, you are looking good for January. I mean, this guy out here. I
pretty good for this, baby. I sat in a bed and take a 12-minute nap for this. How dare you disrespect me? I get bored in there, damn it.
Well,
I'm sitting there think of all the things
I don't spray tan. Definitely not. I might go to the Jersey Shore here and there, but no spray tanning for me.
Let's play the day, Mr. Brian, or whoever said that. Play the day. I'm in there putting in work.
Let's move on over. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the flex guys up top. And one thing I've been messing around with as I'm looking for teams, right? Nothing is popping up that I absolutely love when I kind of run stuff. But in my head, I said, could I fade someone that's going to be chalky up here that maybe gets me a little bit different? Could that guy be Aaron Rodgers and just play the Packers skill position guys? I mean, Rodgers has not really had many winning performances this year. Now, Showdown is a little bit different. I don't know. It's a thought. It's something that I'm kind of looking at and considering right now just because that's what just came to my head. Let's go over to you, Kurt. Who are some plays and fades up here in the flex spot that you're prioritizing in your lineups?
I can't say completely favored. I'm going to be way underweight on the Sun God. I mean, this secondary is finally starting to live up to expectations recently. It's not just Jair Alexander. I'm not the great names, but I know they have more than just him in that secondary. And it's supposed to be coming to the year, supposed to be really improved secondary, improve their whole defense, and they're clicking lately. Now, some of it's due to the matchups, but some of it's not. They did pretty well against Miami besides the 77-yarder from Waddle. Tyreek gets his 100. I mean, obviously, that's kind of their offense. But I thought overall that the secondary played pretty well besides that 77-yarder. So I'm going to – and it's just the price. He's so expensive, dude. I'm not going to play 11K. I'll play him maybe in 1 of 3 if you're on 3 max, 4 of 20 or something. But I will be underweight on the Sun God here. I do like Jameson Williams. I don't know what to do with Swift now because they've already treated him like he's on glass, and now their seasons are playing for nothing. So that makes me even more skeptical. So I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with him yet. I'm going to be lower on A.J. Dillon because I love Aaron Jones so much. And we're at the top half, right? And the quarterbacks, Jared Goff, I'd rather play Jared Goff and St. Brown because they're probably going to be rotating the receivers a little bit even more now. So Chark can get some, Reynolds can get some. All those points can go to Goff. So I will say higher on Goff than Sun God.
All right. Yeah. One other question for you, Kurt. Do you think he gets covered by Jair at all? I mean, St. Brown's normally in the slot.
They move him around.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He gets moved enough where I don't think they're gonna have Jair follow him the whole game or anything.
No, they won't. He won't shadow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that was one thing I kind of thought about when thinking through this game. Meg, let's go over to you. Who are some of the plays and fades up at the top range in the flex spot?
On DraftKings, I am going to be underweight on Aaron Rodgers. And on FanDuel, I think, just that the quarterback value holds a little more weight. So, Ruby and I, we like our FanDuel showdown. So, I think on FanDuel, I like Aaron Rodgers a little better. But on DraftKings, I'm going to be a little underweight. And he's only cracked 20 DK points once. And they lean into their running game a ton, and I think they'll be able to tonight too. Listen, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's still one of the GOATs out there. And I think he's absolutely going to lead your team to the playoffs, but is he, I don't think he's going to put up some massive performance. So definitely, not the captain for me. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't have a whole lot of interest, but I'm going to be underweight on him in the flex. But I do have an interest in all basically his skill position, a lot of the Packers skill position guys. So he's the only one I'm really underweight on. And I do like Amon-Ra a little better. I've played him all year, and overall he's been pretty good to me. When you mentioned Jair Alexander, I got PTSD from the Justin Jefferson last week. But I still do like Amon-Ra. So I think I'm going to be overweight him, underweight Rodgers. We'll see how that plays out.
Rodgers hasn't been 20 all year, I feel like.
I'm telling you, he has not had huge scores really. So but obviously you need at some point just sometimes you need the raw point guys, and he could easily be a raw point guy in this game. So that's the counterpoint, but it's just something to think about for sure. So just trying to think it all through. Rubio, let's go over to you. Plays and fades up top. How are you handling these options in the flex?
All right. Fading Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the reason being is I don't see the target volume as much as with all these guys back. Jameson Williams back in the mix. These tight ends are being factored in the red zone. They are desperately trying to get Jamal Williams the ball inside the red zone to break Barry Sanders' scoring record, it feels. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is 11K, and he hasn't cracked more than 15 DK in 4 weeks. And he did struggle last time against the Packers, didn't even eclipse 10 DK in that game. And this is a matchup where, it's not friendly to the wide receivers. We know that. And I'm worried that if I spend top dollar for a wide receiver, it might not come through. And we're expecting this gluttonous PPR collection, but he only had 5 targets last week. And I know they were blowing him out and stuff. They weren't just not throwing the ball or anything like that. They just kind of went a little bit differently. They spread the ball around a little bit. And I'm not sure that Amon-Ra St. Brown's a guy that we can just sit here and rely on for 12 targets at 11K. I think if he's open, he'll get the ball, but it could be Jair Alexander is shadowing him. But that's also a reason why I'm fading DJ Chark, because I think Alexander kind of splits his time between Amon-Ra St. Brown and Chark, but he did follow Jefferson around. I think that the Packers also said, screw it. We got a guy who can lock down any player on the field. Why not have him on Amon-Ra St. Brown even more so here? So I'm worried that happens, and I think you can get just as much comfort with your lineup with Jared Goff at 9,600. And that I'm going to have a lot of him. Allen Lazard's definitely going to be a guy I like. Aaron Rodgers last time against the Lions threw for 290 yards or so, just ran into 3 interceptions, and they just kind of sucked offensively. I think that these guys show up today, and I think the Lions secondary is going to be exposed. So going to be overweight on Watson, Lazard, and going to be underweight on Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I think I'm going to be underweight on A.J. Dillon too, just because he's running so great on touchdowns. He's scored in 5 consecutive weeks. I'm kind of bidding on that ending. And even then, he's not even he's 4K, 5K like he has been on Showdowns before. He's 6,800 right now. And like Kurt said, I'm high on Aaron Jones tonight. That kind of means I think you could have made the case to spend 16K or 15K for both running backs, but 17K, 18K for both of them now is a bit too tall of an asking price.
All right, guys, if you could please hit that like, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to give away Big T's core, so push those likes home. We would appreciate it. Rubio, what's the number we have it at right now? The number is 225. I don't have the chat up to have it through StreamYard, so what's the number of likes we're at right now, Rubio?
152. We need about 73 more to get Big T's core.
All right. Well, that's all we need. We need 75 to get Big T's core. Christopher says that you're underweight on everyone, Rubio. Just want to point that out there. So prove him wrong. Or maybe fire up the playbook. You'll be able to see what Rubio's on and when he's not playing. So let's keep this thing moving. Let's see. Let's go over to you, Kurt. Let's talk about the mid-range options. Obviously, you got to obviously consider some of these kickers, right? You got Big Bob Tonyan, Romeo Doubs, DJ Chark. Guys, I don't think people are clicking on. At least when I've ran stuff, I haven't seen them really popping up that much. What are you doing from the defenses and up? Basically that from the backup quarterbacks and the defenses, who are you looking at there in that range for some value?
So I'll just start kind of at the top. I'll start at Jamal Williams. I think I have this kind of thought about it, and I think I'm going to will be taking Jamal Williams just because I think Swift is going to be kind of put in a bubble again since they're out of the playoffs. And I did hear, or I think it was Dan Campbell, I should say, talk about how he wants to get Williams the record. I think it's 2 more touchdowns, right, Rubio? 2 more to tie, 3 more to pass him or something like that. So he's 7K. I think he gets a pretty good workload here. Green Bay's bad against the run. They're going to put Swift in bubble wrap. That's my thinking here. So I'll start up with him. He's probably my favorite mid-tier because I don't like Dillon. And then going down, Chark, obviously, think he's a little bit too overpriced with everyone back. But I mean, I don't like Amon St. Brown, so if I want to have a receiver with Goff, I don't mind Chark. I do think Romeo Dobbs is getting a little bit slept on here. Everyone wants to go Lazard and Watson. I don't mind Watson Dobbs, honestly. Lazard has screwed me all year. He is the number one receiver on the Packers, but he does not seem like that target-wise and even snaps-wise sometimes. So I kind of like the Watson-Dobbs combo more. And for kickers, man, it's really hard for me to get to play the Lions kicker because I feel like he'll just be like, I think it's going to take a lot for them to kick a field goal tonight. Like it's going to have to be like 4th and like 17. Like I don't know. I just feel like or like something like that. I feel like they're going to be pretty aggressive tonight. He always is pretty aggressive, even more so today. So Packers defense, I probably prefer them way over the Lions kicker. If this is a win or die game, I'd make the case for Cobb because he'll be there in the clutch time when Rodgers needs him. But nah, this game kind of flipped its head on its head. And then that'll take me down to my favorite cheap play, Jameson Williams. Not only am I playing him as a captain, I really like him in the utility spot today. Probably going to be in every single one of my lineups.
Yeah, definitely think that definitely think that Jameson Williams is a good idea. We'll talk about that as we keep going here. Also, we have the Rodgers has a new girlfriend narrative, right? So if you've seen that, I know that's going for him as well. Meg, we'll go over to you. Who are you doing here? Who are you going within the spot? 6K to like the 3.8, I guess. So backup quarterbacks to the defenses. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the line I'm looking at right now a lot with Kurt. Like, it's pretty much, let's see, a little bit of Dobbs. I don't mind. Tanyan has burned me all season, so I keep trying to make it happen. I'd say for the Packers side, I don't mind Dobbs and Cobb. I get your point on the kickers, but if the spot, if it fits, I don't mind the kicker. I'm not going to try to force kickers like I have in the past or like always have like one kicker. That's not a situation tonight, but I don't mind it if you get there. I think Packers defense is fine. And I totally agree on, Jameson Williams. One thing, as we said earlier, I'm not as interested in Swift, and I know anymore. And so I am more interested in Jamal Williams. I know he's a little bit higher, but so that's kind of where I'm at in that mid-range.
Yeah, it's the old Williams revenge game as well, right? So,
that's right.
Don't forget that.
That's right. You can't forget that.
Go to the mid-tier options, right? Are we playing kickers? Do you want the Lions kicker? You want Crosby? And any defenses in play for you? Maybe Big Bob Tonyan. Who are the options here you're looking at?
Well, I won't be playing Robert Tonyan because you don't get fantasy points for blocking, so he's off the board here. And I think if I am going to go with tight end, we'll go into the values later. It'll be Mercedes Lewis, but I really do like a guy that hasn't been mentioned yet. But I know I'm kind of cheating. I know we said kickers and stuff. I want to mention Randall Cobb. Played a ton last week. Mm-hmm. Lions secondary is terrible. They're bad against the slot. Aaron Rodgers loves to take care of Cobb, and Cobb loves to take care of him. And he could be a guy who could get 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. And I really like that price. 3.6 is super cheap on him, and I really think he could be, the piece of the puzzle here. And I think as far as the mid-range goes too, I'm not really thrilled too much with like Tanyan or Dobbs. Dobbs got 2 catches late last game in the middle of the blowout, but he did play quite a bit. And the only reason why I'm salty about Dobbs because I played him on my main team last week, and I know how that felt. So I don't really want to do it again here at all. But DJ Chark fade for me, backup quarterbacks and stuff. The kickers, if they fit, definitely playing them. But I would go Cobb over them right now. But other than that, kind of on the same train.
Sounds good. Another thing, I didn't type in the chat, so I'm trying to figure out who this is. Who's on the account while I'm on the account, right? Someone else is in there lurking. Is it Big T? Who is it? That's what I'm curious about right now. So I don't know. We'll
we can all do it, Mangone.
What?
We can all do it, Mangone.
Oh, you can. Oh, yes, you're right. You can. Are you? I didn't know if you were logged in. Maybe it was you then, Rubio.
Did you have? Do you have Kevin Durant?
I do. I know he went to the locker room.
He's done. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I was kind of rooting on my other team anyway, so it doesn't matter. But what can you do? Jamal Williams obviously is going to be someone that it sounds like we all like here. Sounds like a play that we're kind of agreeing on. Let's keep this thing moving, though. Let's go to these cheapies. Mercedes Lewis has been talked about, so Rubio, let's go right back to you. You brought up Mercedes Lewis. I'm torn. He did actually get involved in the last game like a lot more. I forget the Miami game. I was watching with my family, and he caught that one touchdown, Rubio, and I was like, he won't catch a pass again. Maybe not even for the rest of the season. It's certainly possible. And then what'd he do? Like literally a couple of plays later, he caught one like deep one, which was just so odd. That doesn't happen with him. But are Are you interested in Mercedes Lewis? Maybe it's Jameson Williams. Who are some of the cheap guys you're looking at here, Rubio?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mercedes Lewis, like you said, he loves himself an island, prime time, touchdown. And it's really like, if you want to avoid the Lions cheapies, because we have a cluster of Lions. Jameson Williams, he was pacing 40% of the snaps last week. They blew the Bears out, so he wasn't needed that much, but they still ran 3 specific plays for him and 1 rushing play as well, which went for 40 yards. We all know he has great talent. And I just think he's trending upwards in a positive direction here. 2,400 is very cheap. But then you look at, like, if you don't like Jameson Williams, we got Khalif Raymond, a guy's getting, between 3-4 targets some games here in his most recent affairs. And Josh Reynolds, same exact way. They're going to be getting 30 to 40% of the snaps. So it's kind of like a guessing game a little bit. I'm going to go with talent here, but you have your way with these Lions wide receivers. And that's not even mentioning the tight ends where, we had Brock Wright, who had no interest in a 3K. I'd rather have Shane Zylstra or James Mitchell. They're guys who can get involved in the goal line there. Jared Goff has thrown several random touchdowns to these guys, It just does it. All of a sudden, Zylstra had a hat trick a couple weeks ago. But I think they're all in play a little bit. But I think Jameson Williams is my cheapie of choice. I do like Mercedes Lewis. He seems to be getting a little bit more involved in this offense when they need him. And it could be a spot where all of a sudden they're on the 1-yard line. He gets pitched out in the fade there, wide open, no one within 30 yards of him. A touchdown that Kurt could definitely score. So, I mean, even if Kurt was 400 in this Packers offense and he was on the goal line stands, I would play him here.
All right, Rubio, before we go over to Meg, Space Cowboy wants to know who's playing for Detroit. Everyone's pretty much playing, right? I don't think they're going to mess around with it too much. That's my thought. Could you see them maybe pull throughout the game? Maybe, but I'm sure they're going to go out there just ready to go and wanting to play. And they'll probably want to play spoiler, right? That's always a fun way to go, at least. Sprite is in the chat and says, "Come on, let Meg talk." So, Meg, I don't think I don't think I cut you off.
Not at all. No,
I didn't skip your turn. I went back the other way. We're doing the snake draft on the way back, and
exactly.
We're talk. So, don't leave anything on the table here. What's your thoughts here on the value plays?
I think honestly covered it pretty well. So, thank you for wanting to hear what I have to say. But I think we have really, really covered it. We really like Jameson Williams down low. Kind of below that, I don't have a lot of interest because, like you said, it's kind of those fluky tight ends. Could they get there? It's Showdown. Of course they could. But, I think Khalif Raymond would be the one that you could make the biggest case for, other than Jameson Williams. So, no, those cheapy tight ends are pretty uncomfortable for me. So I'm kind of staying away from them. So, yeah, I don't have a ton of interest down low besides Jameson Williams and maybe Khalif Raymond.
All right. We'll keep this thing moving. Kurt, can you talk me into Zylstra at all? I've seen some Zylstra and I just keep scrolling because I'm like, is it going to keep happening? Also, we are 18 likes away from the Big T core. So pound those things home. But Kurt, try and sell me on some Zylstra and some other cheap options.
They got 2 Zylstras, bro. They got Brandon and they got Shane. Oh, my Atlanta. What is happening here? I'm not playing any of these bums. I don't care if they get a 1-yard touchdown. I'll call his laptop, go to bed, and rub one out. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather just like they said, I'd rather just play Raymond or Josh Reynolds and hope they get that one catch for 30 yards and a touchdown. The snaps might be all over the place. So if you want to take some different shots with these receivers, like Reynolds, Raymond. Obviously, I like Jameson Williams the most, but I'd rather play those 2 guys. And then, I mean, man, this feels like a really trappy situation with Lewis because we saw what he did, but hey, he turned back the clock on that catch, man. Down the seam, or not down the seam, but down the sidelines. That was a great pass and a great catch, and I don't know how you can convince me that he's 40-some years old. This just blows my mind. So for $600, you could put, like Big T always says, you could probably still cash with this 0. It's not going to be his fault if your line doesn't cash. So let's just kind of play the narrative hey, maybe he's juicing it right now or something. Maybe the guy's just getting testosterone boosters. Who the hell knows? But he did not look like a 41-year-old guy, and maybe they want to get him more involved in the passing game before the playoffs. Rather take a shot on him than some of these Lions guys. And plus, it's also with how Tunyon it ain't it. He's a great blocker, but I think this is even more reason to why they want to get Mercedes more involved because Tunyon just can't get any separation whatsoever. He's not running great routes. But he's a team guy. He's the one who's blocking and stuff. But let's go Mercedes Lewis. Fuck Tunyon, respectfully.
All right. We'll keep this thing moving. Kurt, get your core in. Your core is sitting there. Get that up there. I mean, come on.
My bad.
We got Big T's core, MANGONE. I know we're not at 225 yet, so I don't want to give it away, but I do want to say you were right.
I was right. Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, I had a good feeling he was. It made sense based on listening to the early show from some of the stuff that he said. And he was in his Watson was in his main slate.
Rubio took my core.
What?
Rubio took my core. That's hurtful.
You're in the top right.
Yeah.
No, your core is what my core is.
Oh, well, I mean, that's just what happens sometimes.
And it's sharp minds, right? Hopefully sharp.
Last time this happened was the Cowboys slate and we crushed. We almost passed Big T's optimal lineup, but we didn't.
That tells me we need to load up on some Watson captain. Let's do it. But Kurt, did you talk about the values yet?
Yeah, just Mercedes Lewis and maybe take a shot on some of these Lions receivers who might be rotating door.
Okay, cool. Now let's go to and it might be my last time asking Rubio, but what's the build, right? What's the build? 5-1, 4-2, 2-4, 1-5, 3-3. Which way are we going today, Rubio?
After going against the grain the past couple weeks, I'm falling back into the chalky ways of 4-2 Green Bay.
4-2 Green Bay it is. Okay, well, we'll have to see. I don't know what I'm going. I don't think I'm going 5-1. It's either 4-2 or 3-3. Haven't decided yet. Meg, how about you? What's the build route today?
Yeah, I was just looking, and I think I'm actually pretty even. I think I do think the Packers will win, but I'm pretty even, and I'm going more 3-3 and then 3-2 on FanDuel.
Okay, you said 3-3, and what was the other one?
Yeah, 3-3 and then 3-2 Packers on FanDuel.
Cool. Let's go over to you, Kurt. What's the build for you today?
So I would like to get kind of crazy and go 3-3, but I'm 4-2. I just can't get in more than two of these lines because I don't really know who's going to be getting majority. So I'll just take a stab on a couple of them. Mostly, I want to do have Goff, even though the secondary's been good. But I think he can kind of, like you mentioned earlier, he can kind of get those raw points for us and then rotate which receiver finds the end zone because probably will be one of them. And you can, I saw this question in the chat earlier. They say, can I just run Goff naked with Jamal Williams? I think you actually can because if my point is right and they were just revolving door for all these receivers, Goff gets there, gets you 16. Jamal Williams falls in the end zone twice. Hell, maybe even one of the receiving touchdowns. I do think you can do two lines with it only being Jamal and Goff.
All right. Let's see. Rubio, are we at the number? Can we give away the core yet?
Yeah, I believe so. We are at the number. We're at 232. So Big T's core can be announced. I almost want to make him wait 2 minutes.
Well, no, don't make him wait 2 minutes. Let's move it along. We got to do questions. We need to get your FanDuel takes. Everyone loves Rubio's FanDuel takes as well. Before you do give away the core, Rubio, give away your big FanDuel takes for the slate.
Yeah, I think you have a decision to make with Jameson Williams and Randall Cobb. I like both a lot, but both are your cheap options, 6K, 7K. They're cheaper than Raymond, Reynolds, and all them. And I like Cobb a lot. I like Jameson Williams a lot, but I really do think that's where the debate is here. Aaron Jones is much cheaper than Aaron Rodgers. And, this is where it goes into effect where you're talking about, fading Aaron Rodgers on DK. Well, on FanDuel, he's 1,000 more than any other player. He's 16K. And fading him kind of unlocks a couple of doors, too, where you can kind of explore it a little bit. Let's say you think Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon kind of run the show on the touchdowns here. So I think there's merit to fading Aaron Rodgers on FanDuel, too, as well as you guys talked about on DK. I do think this Lions defense is just so atrocious, though, so I'm not really going to experiment with that. I think Aaron Jones can also be paired with Aaron Rodgers on both sides because I think I'm just feeling an Aaron Jones touchdown reception here, but it'll be a lot of 4-1s, even a little bit of 3-2 Green Bay, though.
All right, no one talked about Justin Jackson. Can we get behind him as a value? They mix him in way more than you think. Do we have any takes on that? I'm just figured I'd ask because the Packers are bad against the run, and I don't know. I found a team that goes Aaron Jones the captain, goes 3-3 Packers, and it fades Rodgers. I just thought it was intriguing. Does anyone have any takes on Justin Jackson?
He makes sense. He does.
No, nothing. All right, that means
$200. I'll do for $200. He can fall in the end zone for sure, especially in the fourth. We just see him fall in the end zone late in the fourth when they're okay, well Jamal had one. We're not going to run out Swift, so Jackson falls in the end zone $200. Bam.
Okay, thanks for making me feel better, Kurt. But
go.
No one liked it. It's okay. I know the tell was there. You know what I mean?
I like it.
I just haven't played it, but it makes sense. I mean,
yeah. It's okay. I don't know. I'm not dying to do it, but we'll see. I have it saved. I'm going to save it here. That way, if I want to go to it late, I'll go to it late. So, all right. We go to some chat questions. Actually, chat questions could be fun. Let's see. Actually, we got to give away the core. Did you give away the Big T core, Rubio?
Yeah, I'll give it away right now. Are we ready?
Ready to rock. Let's hear it.
His core on DraftKings is Christian Watson captain, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and DeAndre Swift. And then on FanDuel, it is Aaron Rodgers captain with Christian Watson and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
There it is. He's got the pool up. I see under the I'll read the breakdown. He goes, Rodgers and the Packers were dead a few months ago, and now all we have to do is win and they get in the playoffs. I do think the Lions show up, and I think we see a good game tonight. People are going to be too low on these Lions guys. He goes, I like Amon-Ra, and I am not scared to at all dive in.
All right.
There you go. That is the setup there for Big T. Let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of getting sold on this Justin Jackson weird team. I think I'm going to do it.
Do it. It's the last regular season game. Do it.
Yeah. Well, I trust me. I never you guys know we've done these shows. I don't like playing these awful guys down low, but a lot of them go like Zylstra, and I don't want to go him. I don't know. I just think it's an interesting build. So, yeah. And actually, here's the core for it. Ready? If you really want to build this dust bucket of a team, it's Aaron Rodgers captain. It's Aaron Jones captain. Justin Jackson in the flex, and it goes AJ Dillon. So there you go. It goes 3 running backs. That's how crazy that team is. So it's a little off the board, but I don't mind it. So anyways, let's go to chat questions. I'm putting this team in, and then we will head on over there, and I can flash them on the screen. I got people tilted about Kevin Durant. Where's Tyler's question? Tyler had something in there I want to put up there. So the Packers defense is going to bust open this slate. Kurt, let's go to you. What do you think about the Packers D? You're on mute, Kurt.
Oh.
I didn't even fucking click that, dog. I don't know. There's a ghost in here.
To be honest, I saw before you talked, it was fine. And then as you started talking, it went to mute. It was very weird.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay. So there's ghosts in here. No big deal. So someone else mentioned earlier about how we've not talked about any love for the defense. I basically started the show talking about how good the defense has been. That secondary has stepped up. They're playing really well. We're not sure we think these Lions are going to come out motivated and try, but for 3,800 for an improving Packers defense, maybe they kind of do just let Justin Jackson just carry the ball 15 times in the second half and just kind of get into the offseason. You never know. So, yeah, we're not hating on the Packers defense at all. Sometimes a lot of us aren't defensive guys. I know usually I'm not, but I'm definitely going to have them in a build. No hate if you want to do that too. If you think that's the narrative, go crazy.
Yeah, you guys were nice and quiet. It felt good. I don't know. It was one of those. The Big T says, "Oh, everyone against me." If he scores, I'll feel happy, I guess. You know what I mean? But all right, let's keep moving. Let's see. Chris told us not to forget about FanDuel. Mag, do you have any other FanDuel takes to give the people?
The only other FanDuel take I'd say, I think we covered some of the values, and Rubio does a great job of that in the playbook on the FanDuel values specifically. But, I always try to rotate my captains on FanDuel because, of course, most people are going to have Rodgers or Goff or Amon-Ra because that's what the sims and optimizers are going to say, but or Jones. But put in Christian Watson, put in Lazard, rotate if you got a 5, FanDuel guys you love, rotate through your captains, and if Watson goes for 3 touchdowns tonight, you'll be one of the few on that. I think he's going to be pretty low owned, so that would be my only FanDuel take.
All right, Kurt. What's going on over here? Explain yourself. What I miss? You're on mute, by the way, and you're on mute on purpose. Okay, good. Okay, we'll keep this. Let's see. So someone says, let's read this one. Think we can play Swift, Williams, and Jones and Dillon, both RBs with Williams as captain, and you have salary left for Lazard. I guess that's basically loading up on running backs. Those are ways I think to make different builds sometimes. One interesting build route that I thought could be good for that Jaguars Titans slate was maybe playing basically not playing any of the receivers, but playing Evan Ingram, right? You only play Evan Ingram as your main receiver because a lot of people were peppering in Jaguars receivers on their teams, right? I just try to think of what's one quick way to make my team different. If you just straight up faded Aaron Rodgers in the flex, you'd probably straight up be different. It's just a very simple route. Then you can eat a lot of really good chalk plays if you wanted. So those are things I just try to think through. I'm not saying all these ideas are right. You have to have a lot of bad ideas to have a good idea for sure. So let's see. Fire away some questions if you guys could, and that way we can touch upon them. Let's see. I'm looking at a Lazard captain right now. I'm trying to find one of those that I can really get behind. Got no questions. You guys are killing me here. Nothing? Not at all? Do we have to get on out of here early? I mean,
is Randall Cobb captain viable, Mangone?
What?
Is Randall Cobb captain viable?
Oh, okay. Oh, it hasn't. I think StreamYard's slower for it to pop up, but is Randall?
No, I just wanted to ask you that.
Oh, you wanted to ask me. Let's look. Actually, so I'm in here on Saber and I'm running things around, and I'm let's see how much Randall Cobb I get. Right? Let's check it out. I do not get enough Randall Cobb. I'll tell you that. You know who could be a really good captain? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know how he did in the past weeks. What about Romeo, man? Could Romeo captain be a really good route to go today? Were his snaps like too low to kind of get behind it? He had 4 targets last week. I don't know. What do you think of Romeo Dobbs' captain review? Could it work?
2 targets came really, really late, like after the blowout occurred, and he got a lot of his snaps there too a little bit. It felt like he wasn't on the field, and it felt like in 3 wide receiver sets, it was Cobb, Lazard, and Watson. So I'm kind of concerned about him, but he did find the optimal a couple weeks ago, it felt like, when he had 5 for 52. I think that was 3 weeks ago. So I don't hate it, but I don't think he has the upside.
Okay, straight up, Jones or Williams? Let's go to you, Meg. Who do you got there?
I was nervous going into the show about Aaron Jones just because, I don't know, it's just kind of been hard these last few weeks. But pre-show, I would have said Williams. Right now, I'd say Jones. I know that sounds like I'm hedging, but
yeah,
that's.
I mean, he did get a lot of the work last week. I mean, not a lot, but enough, right? Where I'm like feeling fine about him. But you never know when it can flip for sure. It's definitely certainly possible. Any chance we could play a Detroit 4-2 with Watson captain? Yeah, you go Watson captain, and he gets 2 of the touchdowns, and then you either pair it up with like probably one of the running backs or Rodgers. I think you can get away with doing it without Rodgers if it's one of the running backs who was a big game and they put up like 28 to 35 for sure. I think that's definitely a route that you could get away with for sure. Kurt, favorite play under 5K on DraftKings?
Under 5K? Man, right there, I like Dobbs. I'm not playing Tunyon. I guess Badgley.
Okay.
I mean, it's like 2 guys if you're staying like anywhere close to that. So I guess give me Badgley.
All right. Let's see. A question I want to hear. Who's going to win the game tonight? Kurt, who's winning the game?
The Packers are going to win the game.
Meg, who's winning the game?
I think the Packers win the game, yeah.
Rubio?
The NFL wants the Packers to win, so the NFL gets what they want.
There we go. Good. You know what? It was a trick question because if any of you answer Lions, you were getting kicked for a second.
Tyranny right here. Just like Roger.
We passed.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone. I thought Rubio would be the one last second. I thought he was going to turn on us.
You're the trigger figure already.
Can you take over chat questions while I finish up one last team, or are you busy on that at your end?
I mean, yeah, Packers or Lions. Wait, Jamal Williams captain. Have we talked about that? I'm not sold on it, but I'm here. Meg, what about you?
I don't have a Jamal Williams captain. I mean, again, yeah, if the guy falls in for 2 or 3 touchdowns, yeah, you're probably going to want him as your captain. But yeah, he's been just so touchdown reliant. No, I don't have it.
Bert, what about you? You have any Jamal Williams? I know on FanDuel he's 12-5.
I don't have it, but look at this another. Like, what about golf captain in the giant trail script? Tanner's comment.
I do like Goff in the Detroit receivers. Period. I kind of said that at the beginning with at least the Detroit receivers and the potential captains. I like Goff and the receivers in the trail script, just like kind of to what you're saying, Kurt.
Yeah, agreed.
I like Goff a lot. I got him on DraftKings right now. On FanDuel, he's a little bit tough to get up to, but I do like that. We got another one here. Dylan as a captain, potentially. I think we're both on Jones, but I think, Meg, are you more on Dylan tonight?
Not in the captain, in the flex. More in the flex.
I'm kind of curious to see how A.J. Dillon does because he's been so touchdown reliant, kind of similar to Jamal Williams, where he's had 5 straight games of touchdowns, and that's why I like Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon make a little bit more sense on FanDuel, where even though A.J. Dillon has been more effective in the passing game than Jamal Williams, but if they get into the box, they have a great chance of being optimal. So I do like them on FanDuel a little bit more. But as captain, I mean, what we saw Dillon captain get there a few weeks ago. So
yeah, that was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't hate that completely. I don't hate it as much as I do Jamal Williams, but at the same time, I got exposure on FanDuel. So any other questions before we head out? It's the last show of the season. You can ask us anything here. We got Big T's Core. If you missed it, it's Christian Watson captain with Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift on DraftKings. And on FanDuel is Aaron Rodgers MVP with Christian Watson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Any other questions at all? Going once, going twice.
They'll fire him in here in a second. I'm actually doing one last run. This one's gonna be at the buzzer trying to get this thing in, but we're gonna get it in here. It's gonna be a Lazard captain. And anyone want to provide me people that make sure to include in the Lazard captain? We can talk about these plays right here. So I'm doing a Lazard captain for sure. Who needs to be in it? Aaron Rodgers for sure.
I think so. I think, God, one of the running backs maybe too. I don't know.
I was thinking either Dylan. I was thinking it's either if I go Amon-Ra St. Brown, I was thinking probably Dylan because that way Jones wouldn't really fit salary wise and it'd be a real pain. That was kind of my thought process so far, at least. Actually, I think I may have just found one that's pretty good. Oh, and it goes Randall Cobb. Let's go that.
I like it. Do you guys grill your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Oh, that would be good. That sounds yummy.
That's a fire move right there.
I love peanut butter.
I don't know if that's a fire move, but
someone said, "Hey, tails." If you're betting on the coin toss, I don't know if that's eligible tonight, but whatever the Packers choose, they'll win the toss.
I don't think I'm wagering on that, but best of luck to you if you are wagering on that.
I lost a decent chunk on Cleveland State basketball yesterday.
Oh, nice. There's the team too. I hand built it. That's beautiful. Literally popped up on Saber and it was hand built. It's just perfect.
Oh.
Is there any overlay? Is there any overlay here?
No.
I mean, it's too late for the stream probably because they're too delayed, but figured I'd ask. There's a couple things, not a lot, but nothing I'm dying to get in. The NHL one I'll try. How's that sound? That one's cheap enough. Works for me. Not a lot of people in it. I think it's got 42 of 72 or something like that. So threw one in there, but that's all we got. I mean, Spray asked why this is the last show. It might be the last show. I don't know what the schedule is the rest of the way for playoffs. It's week 18. I mean, unless you have week 19 coming our way, but that's what we got for now. We'll have to see how the rest of it goes. We got next season to look forward to. And who knows, maybe there'll be something for the playoffs. We'll have tons of different showdown stuff for you guys too. Listen, we'll have a showdown show tomorrow for the national championship game. I will be on that show, so be sure to check that out with Big T. He'll certainly be there. I'm sure we're going to make Dunkel in there, and we're going to make sure Bruce is there as well, bringing all the great college football takes. And then we'll have showdown content for playoffs. Don't worry. We'll have different types of variations of shows. I'm sure you'll have Cedal on some stuff, some JT Hayes, some Big T, JSU, Tambo, Hoop. Everyone will be on them, AP. So you will have tons of NFL content, so be sure to check all that out. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel to make sure you get notified when we go live with all of those shows. But for me, Mangone, Rubio, Meg, and Kurt, got to cue this up. We will see you guys later.
Georgia -6.